And welcome to the 28th Annual City of Mobile Championships, presented to you by Dynamic Disc, as well as all of our other wonderful sponsors you saw there on screen. We're going to be kicking it off here at round one at the Admiral. You can see our feature card here, local favorites Matty O and Cameron Colglazier, and then Christopher Downey getting voted in. Michael Gibney also coming in as well. Definitely a player who's been doing pretty well recently. Just got back over that 1,000 rating mark, so definitely been a little bit hot lately locally, so good to see him on board. And I am Dustin Mouret, a little bit new to the disc golf commentary scene, but coming from esports. And I got Christopher Downey with me, actually, one of the players on the card. So how you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing well, Dustin. Excited to be here and commentating this round with you.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's great to have someone who is actually playing be able to come on and talk with us. And why don't you run me through this first hole that we're playing here at the Admiral?
Yeah, hole one is a par 4, and you're wanting to just get off this tee. You got 3 gaps that you're going down to, and then you want to just be set up for a nice little approach into the green.
Yeah, you basically kind of just play this hole for 2, right? You kind of split it in half. You want to get up middle, set yourself up on the dog leg left, and just make sure you have a clean approach to the basket to get that birdie. It is kind of a daunting opening hole, I feel like, for the tournament. It's not an easy one.
Yeah, if you're not warm, you can get a big number on this hole.
So we got Matty O kicking it off again. He had a huge Texas swing. He played 5 events coming into this, and he took first place, like 3 times, and had a couple second place finishes. And not a bad shot to kick things off here for Matty O. We got Cam coming up next here, another local favorite, winner of the last City Mobile Championships, and always a great player in this field. And he's trying to get sneaky up the middle, Chris, but that didn't work out the way he hoped.
Yeah, that's got to sit, or he's going to be in the woods. And this is me, and I'm throwing a Thunderbird on the outside gap. I feel like it's a little bit more open for my shot.
Ooh, that kick really took that away from being perfect, basically. But still, I think you're in a decent spot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, not too bad.
We got Gibney up next. Also hitting the gap quite nicely and skating up there, so he should be pretty happy with this. It actually went a little bit deeper than I would have thought. It kind of stayed straight. You really want to get that left fade a little bit more, I feel like, than that, but still good.
Yeah, he had a late tree that kind of stopped it from finishing well.
And now Cam's just trying to scramble back and just get into some kind of position to get the par at this point, and he throws a forehand in. That actually isn't the worst kick. I feel like that might have put him into a lane.
Yeah, and then I'm up here. I'm throwing a Bard on this outside route, just trying to get as close as I can up to the gap.
And you didn't hit anything. That was a beautiful approach shot. That's going to set you up for not a gimme putt by any means. I think you're probably like 45 or 50 feet out, but you at least have a chance, right? One of the few looks maybe for birdie so far. And here's Matty O working on that forehand game lately, and that was looking so good, man.
Yeah, that late tree, man, I thought it was going to be right up to the basket, and it just didn't flip over.
And we got Gibney up next. Unfortunately, a basket rattles right as he's letting go of the disc, so a little bit unfortunate. He's going to get caught up in some of the thickness over there on the outside of the basket. But again, should be able to approach for par, definitely, at least. Got Cam up next, again, just trying to scramble his way back into something manageable. And, man, he can throw those putters so clean.
Yeah, man, I think that's his PA4, and he just puts that thing on a line, and it just goes straight to the basket.
I think like 80% of Cam's throws are PA4s or PA3s. Just really feels good with those discs from Prodigy. And beautiful little chip up there from Matty O. No problem going to get his par.
Oh, Gibney's got a little bit of an angle.
He does. He's got a little gap. See if he can get it. Not the worst bid.
No, but got an easy back.
Actually, and here you are again. I think you're what, like 45 or 50 out, probably.
Yeah, about 45 feet. First putt of the tournament, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't get cleaner than that. Well done, Downey. You were the only birdie, actually, I think, on the card in this situation, and we didn't even have that many birdies on hole one. It actually played .19 over par on the tournament, so it's actually kind of in like the top 6 as far as difficulty goes for the MPO field. So that was, a rare birdie.
Yeah, it was good to get the tournament started off with a birdie to start off the tournament. I mean,
and I feel like when I talk to people about you, Downey, behind your back, of course, always positive, though, always positive. A lot of people say, obviously, you have a ton of snap, and you can putt really well from circle, too. I feel like that's kind of your trademarks. And so here's you throwing a nice little simple hyzer, and I thought that pole kick would bounce you back right to being parked, but unfortunately, you kind of just kept going forward. But still not a bad shot.
Yeah, it got a little bit of bad action off the pole, but I should still, be able to clean that hole up.
You see that Matty O there kind of caught a late tree as well, and we got Cam coming up again, throwing that PA3, I believe, but again, just a little early. You can tell that he's not happy about that. And so now Gibney comes up, and really no one's, like, pured it except for you initially, but you were a little bit deep, and so Gibney's trying to see if he can show us the line. It's getting left, Gibney.
Yeah. That's a good shot. That's where you want to be on the, I think he's about 15 foot to the right of the basket.
Is that clean right there?
Yeah, some of those trees that were right kind of where he landed could have knocked him a little bit and maybe been obstructed, but I think he got through it nicely, so he should have a very clean birdie putt, you'd imagine. So we got Cam again in scramble mode early here. He committed to that one, let me tell you what. Jumping all the way out there. Unfortunately, he got another kick into the rough. Here's Matty O. His putting has been on fire this year. Can he get a big birdie?
Come on.
And the answer is yes.
Yeah, that one was about 80 to 90 feet out. It just looked good out of his hand the entire way.
Got a little slow blue here. He switched to the P Model S at the beginning of this year, and his putting has been in the high 80% in Circle 1. He's been dominating the Circle 2 area as well. It's been like a really big part of his game this year, I feel like, in that Texas swing that he had, and that was a beauty. As Cam, again, just full scramble mode. Good little pitch out. About the best he could have hoped for, I feel like, from where he was.
And I'm about 20 feet away right here. I'm a little obstructed. I just hung that out wide. I think I got a farther putt than what I had to begin with.
I do think your comebacker is unfortunately a little bit more difficult than your initial look. That spin putt will get you, though, if you don't catch the metal. As he goes, oh, no. He got a little bit better that time. You know, we're making progress, Kirst.
Yeah, I missed right the first time, and the second time I missed left.
It's the classic overcompensation. But here's Gibney. Feeling like he should definitely get this one. He's got a really good putt. I'll give him that as well.
Yeah, and that's dead center, so I think that's 1 under for the round, so he's right where you want to be to start off.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like Gibney's putting is definitely one of the big strengths of his game, just from watching him throughout the weekend.
Yeah, he's real clean around the green, and then, you know, anywhere from 45 feet and in, you know, most of the time he's not making it, he's going to at least draw some metal.
And here you go, just kind of cleaning up. We take a quick break. All right, now we're back into it. Hole 3, which to me is like almost the epitome of a poke and hope hole. But Chris, obviously a much higher level player than me. What are your thoughts on this one? Only a couple small guys I feel like available, and unfortunately Matt misses them.
Yeah, this whole, I mean, you want to go as straight as possible. You got 2 gaps. Most people just go straight up the middle with a little finish to the right. It's really, you know, just picking your straightest disc and just hitting that gap. And if you don't, just hope that it doesn't kick off too hard.
And I don't know if the footage shows it, but that is not a big gap at all. It's a very small gap. The only other gap you really have is over the front of the red tee, a little bit to the left. And you take the center gap as well, and that looks so good. I feel like you just got absolutely robbed by that tree. But Gibney, prior, shown us about as good as it gets. As we see, Cam's up with that PA4, I believe, and
yeah, and he hit the gap he had to hit.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. If Gibney's shot was about as good as it gets, that is literally as good as it gets. And, I feel like that's big for Cam too, because he had a little bit of a slow start for his standards, and I think that that's a nice little recovery, you know, shot for him.
Then you got Matt and me are about to have the shot, the approach that that you don't want whenever you hit early on this hole. It's a tough up shot. Matt did that about as well as you can, those tight gaps.
Yeah, making it look easy. As we have Chris up next. You're a little bit more in the rough, but solid bid to get up there.
Yeah, I had no look for a chance to maybe a long putt, so I just took my 3 and go into the next hole.
Gibney taking his time, knowing that he definitely had a great chance to get his birdie, and he's able to cash in, so that gets back-to-back for him. Looking for you to try to get your par, and no problem.
Yeah, but that, I mean, this hole's good. You get it more than you don't get it, but it's definitely not an easy par 3 for as tight as the gaps are off the. So I'm just happy to get my 3 and go to the next hole.
Yeah, I played over par for this tournament, .09, so it was, again, kind of on the tougher end as we are seeing, you know, pretty close scores still here. Again, having the slight leads. We come in the hole 4, our first par 5, our first real big boy here at the Admiral, really showing you the course's teeth. Why don't you walk us through this one, Chris?
Yeah, this hole, the hardest shot on this hole for me is the tee shot. You got a tight gap that you have to get through, and then you have to control your distance to try to land in 2 spots, either straight off the tee or this little fall off to the left to set yourself up for your second shot. And then once you get up here, you're just trying to navigate the right side of the fairway all the way down to the basket. And any tree that you hit, it's going to give you a little bit of danger on your approach shot up into this basket. And this hole,
there's a lot in your way. Let's put it, especially when you start getting closer to the basket. I mean, there's a couple little open patches as you saw, but there's a lot of guardian trees. There is a little bit of a left lane as well that you could play a forehand play if you absolutely had to if you're in scramble mode. But again, the right lane's kind of the favorite side, and Gibney has a box. He'll take it first. That looks pristine.
Yeah, all he's got to do is miss those last couple trees, and he's sitting good.
Oh my goodness, that is, that is a dream drive. I feel like.
Yeah, that's just about as good as it gets on this hole.
Okay, I'm gonna try to follow the line here. I think that's just D1 if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of a late kick, but it's still on the fairway, so probably okay with that. Yeah, you can see he's, you know, he'll be happy with that. As we got MADGA up next. Just, I love his form, man. It's so fun to watch.
Yes, it's really compact, and it's just got so much power coming out of it.
Yeah, he's got sneaky distance. He's not really known for his distance. Not that he can't throw far, but I feel like most people kind of know him for his approach game, his putting game, and just how smooth he is. But yeah, he can definitely plow one. Speaking of being able to plow one, some of the most snap I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I let go of that one early, and I got really lucky to get as far as I could.
Yeah, you actually got through 2 trees that were maybe 2 feet apart to get through that initial stretch, and then, yeah, eventually kicked on left as we're going to see Cam. A little bit of a rough approach there from the bushes, but oh my goodness. What?
Yeah, it doesn't get much better from that position. He's going to have a long look for an eagle.
Yeah, I mean, just having an eagle look is impressive at all, as this hole was playing slightly over par for the tournament, .06, so...
And then I'm on the left side of the fairway, and I'm just trying to get around that corner. And I let go of that in a little straight, and it just kept going into the woods.
That poor disc, though. I mean, the sound it makes when it leaves your hand, and you could just tell it's taking a battering. As we got MADGA in a little bit of scramble mode here, but, I mean, that is a beautiful little touch-any forehand to get up the fairway.
And that's all he really had from that angle. Once you pinch yourself off on this hole, you just kind of go into scramble mode.
Now Gibney finally gets to play. He has a chance to maybe approach for an eagle as well, considering how good his drive was. He got way on up there, and that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think he said it was an F5 that he threw, and it's just a good angle out of his hands the entire way. A little bit of a bad finish, but, I mean, he's going to be pin high for a putt for 3.
I feel like that's one of those rare occasions where you actually wanted to hit one of those Guardian Chiefs next to the basket to have it stop and give yourself a good eagle look. And, again, the touch forehand here from MADGA. An absolute beauty. Puts him right into an open look for the basket. I mean, yeah, that's right there. You should be getting that in. Unfortunately, you got a little bit of work to do here.
Yeah, I got like a little bit of a shot out of here and caught the one tree I had to miss. But, hey, I'm in the fairway now.
You are in the fairway. Silver linings to be found there, and pretty clean up. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just finding every tree on this hole.
Cam has, again, that beautiful approach shot, so he actually is having a real nice eagle look here, and it was the right shot shape, but just not quite on line with the basket. Oh, man.
Yeah, left that one a little short. I thought I had it out of my hands.
It did look good. And this is, I think, is it this Gibney's eagle look?
It's the Gibney's. Didn't really have much of a look there, and he came out of the woods saying he was just happy to get his 4 and move on.
From what I think he was telling me that was actually like one of his best performances on this hole. in tournament play to have that eagle look. So yeah, he definitely did such great work there. Definitely had a realistic chance at it. We're seeing everyone just kind of clean up their putts here.
Yeah, I think Cam ended up with a birdie as well as Gibney, and I think I'm tapping in for my 6.
Yeah, this hole definitely gave you a little bit of a battering, but I'm sure you'll be able to recover. Downey now at 3 down, so he's leading by 1 stroke over Matteo. Cam and yourself just, starting to get warmed up. We move on to hole number 5. Didn't get to see the flyover, but this is basically a forehand hole for most people, but you might see the backhand turnover. And you just want to skip up to the basket, really. Try to play like a flex forehand.
Yeah, it's just a little flex forehand. Cam let that one get away from him, and then the other play on this hole is just a mid-range or a putter backhand that you kind of just throw straight and just have it finish about 15 feet to the right of the basket or left of the basket.
And that was the FX2, I believe, from Matteo. He used that disc a lot throughout this tournament. Really trusted it on some of the more overstable shots. And this is you going for that backhand play. And
yep, just take a putter and go straight at the basket. Split up there about 15, 20 feet to the left of the basket.
You make it sound so easy. Like, you just take a putter and just throw it straight up the middle. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more difficult than that, Chris. But, yeah, that was a really good shot. And as you said, Cam let go of that forehand a little bit early, so just have to go for the I think that's the PA4 approach there for him. And he lets it up there quite nicely. He'll no problem to get the par.
And you got Gibney here. He was a little short. He kind of turned his forehand over out of his hand.
I feel like he even left that approach a little bit wider than he probably wanted to. I mean, he still should be able to get the par, no problem, but had a little bit more faith than maybe he was hoping for. And here's you for the birdie look.
Yep, just had to miss that one tree right by the basket, and I did that. And hopefully about to get back on track here with a bounce back birdie.
That was a nice birdie. As Matteo is going for his birdie here as well. Just such a unique form, and I think he said he modeled it after like free throws in basketball, like just kind of keeping everything lined up and just having that wrist snap, and he makes it work for himself. Again, he's been dominating the putting green with those P Model S's lately. Speaking of P Model S's, I want to say that's what Gibney putts.
It is, and about the same, like him and Matteo, just within 30 feet, they're probably going to be right in the middle of the basket.
So that birdie's going to bring you back to even. So you're starting to, play catch up and get back. And now we're going to take a look at hole 6. A really tough par 4. Why don't you talk us through this here one?
Yeah, this one, you have 2 gaps off the tee. More people prefer to take this little hyzer line right on the middle. And you just want to make sure that you release it on an angle that hyzers out to the left. And you just get lucky and miss a lot of trees. You want to just try to land in this little area right here. And then that leaves you with possibly a forehand or a little turnover shot to the green. And this rough gets bad. It's real thick on the outside, so you just kind of want to just stay over here to the left as much as possible.
Absolutely. As this was playing as one of the top 5 most difficult holes for the tournament, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we don't want to spoil anything for our lead card here. So we're going to see Matteo step up first and
pulled that a little bit too straight. Yeah, I threw a Thunderbird, and just right down the middle is the shot I was looking for. Should be a good landing spot for my next shot.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely pured that. That was a beautiful shot, and Gibney just got to follow that line, you have to imagine. Doesn't get much better than what you did. And
yeah, and he yanked it a little bit, and snuck through a little bit. He should have a long approach shot to the green.
Came up next, and it looked a little inside at first, but he winds up getting through, and this is an absolute beauty. It was going to be hard to top what you accomplished, but I mean, that takes the cake. That was a beautiful throw.
Yeah, that might be the best shot I've ever seen on this hole, off the tee.
He's loving how much distance he shaved off with that shot. That's a full commit, glasses off shot here for Matteo, and that is a beauty.
Yeah, for what he had to work with, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, I don't think you really do. As we are seeing Gibney throw his first forehand besides the tee shot on the previous hole, and he was having struggles with it on the tee shot the previous hole, but this looks much better.
I was really surprised that he got that far. I figured it was going to be part out of his hand, and it just, leaves him about a 25-footer coming back.
Also, shout out to our camera woman for dodging that disc. Oh my, that was actually a look.
Yeah, Same disc I threw the hole before, but the Warden just a little bit of turn on it. Then here's Cam with that PA4 just putting it right by the basket.
If that PA4 is in his hands, you know it's close to the basket. That's Gibney setting up for a birdie putt, I believe. He had a great forehand approach shot.
He's fired up after that one. He was not in position to get that 3, and then really good hole for.
Gibney's such a personality, man. It was a pleasure having him on coverage because he's a funny guy to have on the card.
Yeah, he's this card, you know, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better card to start off the tournament. 3 other guys, you know, I just enjoy playing with all the time, and makes the round a lot easier whenever you have a card that you can enjoy playing with.
Was this a star frame?
It is. First star frame of the round.
And that's awesome because only 15% of the field actually birdied that hole. It played .43 over par. So the fact that y'all got a star frame just really shows that we had a fantastic feature card. We look at hole 7, and this is a dangerous one.
Yeah, you have 2 little routes. You can throw the forehand to the left, or you can just throw a little backhand. And most people lay up and then go for this island green on the second shot. But I mean, it's still a tough up shot because you don't have very much room to work with this water around this tee. This hole is a game changer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are plenty of discs sitting in that water. Let me guarantee you that as we see MADGA go for the forehand approach here to kick things off. He said he's been working on doing the forehand approach with, like, I think the A2 or the A3, maybe both. And that's about what you want for this hole, I feel like.
That would give him a good chance to either soft run or lay up for his 3.
And you were throwing a zone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a zone, and I'm just trying to finish out to the left just to give myself a little bit more room to run this putt.
That's, again, a perfect landing spot, I feel like, for this hole here. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that as we have Gibney up next, throwing a putter, and I think he juices him a little bit too much. That looks really powerful.
Yeah.
He knows it. Oh, he hits the island, though.
Yeah.
He can take it from there.
Yeah, we had a little bit of discussion on this hole about the island or not, and we ended up saying that he did hit the island so that he's got a nice little 3 putt for on the island.
That looks too powerful, too, Downey, and
just did not check up.
That's a tough one, so he'll be putting from par, and he does not get the advantage of being able to cross over to the island as Gibney, again, able to touch it. I'm glad we got that call right. It's always hard in the heat of the moment to have a discussion and get it right, but we did, and that's great as we see MADGA stepping up for his putt.
This shot right here, I think, is harder than the tee shot, just because, you know, you have to decide if you're going for it or if you're just going to lay up.
What are you doing here?
I'm going for it, and I just...
Oh, you went for it.
Yeah, at the last second, I had a little bit of doubt, and I missed that shot, and that disc is gone.
It's still gone, by the way. Still have yet to be recovered. Black disc in that water, not going to be easy to find. Cam trying to save the par there. Hits the basket. And again, Gibney, he did hit the island, so he gets his meter. And I mean, this is, I mean, if you're going to go on the water, you can't ask for a better situation to be in afterwards.
Yeah, it's just a drop-in 3, and he gets his disc back too. And I take a 4 here, even though I was the closest inbound shot on the hole. It just goes to show that that approach shot can get you in trouble.
Shout out to the only birdie on hole 7 at this MPO field, and that was actually our boy JC Rowe. So shout out to that man. I'm not sure how he did it. I imagine it must have been a putt on the mainland.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I will be asking what his shot was to get the 2 on that hole.
And this hole 8 is just the one open hole you get where you can just like unleash and throw a bomb. It's a little bit uphill though, but it's a big open field. I mean, there's really a lot of space up there to play with. There was a bit of a headwind though, so a lot of people were having to stable up and deal with that. But everyone's doing exactly what you'd expect so far. Just you know, chucking it out there and just making sure they have a clean approach. And here you go, and oh god, that snap is just unreal.
Yeah, you just you grab the longest disc in your bag and you try to throw it as far as you can. And I caught that last tree, or I might have been up there about another, 70, 80 feet.
I never even knew those trees could come into play. That's the thing is, I feel like you had already gotten all of your distance, so I feel like it didn't really affect you at all.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be an easy approach shot, and then Cam just flipped his out, and it's going to be behind those trees that I hit.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a headwind, so it kind of unfortunately rolled that D1 out a bit. I think you threw the Halo Wraith up there and got out there a pretty good bit, and Oh, he left that approach so short.
Yeah, and out of his hands, he didn't like it.
Yeah, I could hear it. That's uncharacteristic, I feel like. Again, I feel like he's had a little bit of a cold start for his standards.
Yeah, usually, Cam is, off to a little bit hotter start of that, and then I had this basically the same shot as Cam, and I left mine a little short too.
Again, he just didn't want that to flare too much, and it didn't. I mean, that's exactly where he wants to be, to have a very stress-free tap and birdie, and now Cam has to work for his a little bit.
Yeah, he's about 25 feet.
Oh, man.
Just never gave it a chance.
That was low from the start. As you said, there was never a point in time where look, that was in. And again, it's uncharacteristic for Cam. I'm sure he'll warm up later, though. There you go. Okay. And you've really been playing catch up, since that bogey. Unfortunately, you had that one OB on 7. But I mean, your bounce back has been nice, I feel like, so far.
Yeah. Both bogeys I've taken this round, the next hole I've gotten a birdie to kind of set myself back in the right direction. But sooner or later, I got to start getting a little bit more birdies and not as many bogeys.
That is the name of the game here. As Matteo also going to go ahead and put in that birdie putt, no problem. As we start heading into our last hole here of the front 9, Gibney, again, he's not going to have any trouble tapping this in, and obviously Cam will be able to come in and tap in his par. So, pretty routine at this point, but we're really starting to see that separation. Like, we're starting to really see, like, Gibney and Matteo really take those big sets where they're already 5 down through 8. Obviously, you and Cam still tied for 1 down. Again, having a little bit of a back and forth, like you said, a couple of bogeys here and there. But here we have hole 9, just a straight tunnel shot, 273. Most people probably throwing mids or maybe fairways here. I think we had a bit of a tailwind this time around, and unfortunately, Matteo caught a little bit of those trees early on, but still not bad.
Yeah, and as you can see, the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, so this shot is a really delicate straight shot that you have to just trust whatever disc you're throwing.
That is pure. That is so good.
Yep, and
what a tree kick.
Yeah, last tree he thought he released it high out of his hand, but it just kept fighting, and then easy birdie putt.
Here's you with the rock, I believe.
Yeah, and I just need to scoot up.
It does. I mean, not as close as you want to be. You always want to be right next to the basket, obviously, but still, I mean, a pretty good shot here. Now came up next. Led a little left early, but still scoots on up there. And again, it's not only a tunnel shot, but it's a low ceiling, and so you really have to control that height, and it's hard to necessarily get the power. You have to kind of rely on the skip up.
Addy looks like he's got to miss a couple of trees.
Okay. The man can't miss a putt right now.
He can't. Even that one hit low right, and just good reaction off the basket into for a 2.
Also, you hit a limb, by the way, which ruined your approach, and that was unfortunate. And you didn't care. You got the putt anyway.
Yeah, walking up to this one, I was not as close as I wanted to be, and I had to focus to get that.
I think you hit like the one loose stick on the fairway that was possible to hit, and it stopped you. But again, you still were able to come in and get the birdie, and now Cam trying to get his as well, as he was the CTP, except for obviously Gibney, who almost aced it. Beautiful comeback putt for Cam after having a tough one on hole 8.
Yep, and we're going to finish this front 9 off with a star frame. So going into this back 9, Matt and Gibney are really happy where they're at in the round, and me and Cam, are just going to see if we can kind of close the gap to finish out this first round.
Yeah, 6 through 9 for those 2 players, as we're doing a little bit of a moonwalk there for old Gibney, taking a look at the scores, and still not too big of a separation. Everyone playing pretty well. Again, a little bit of a cold start for a couple of you guys, but Orum and Gibney, again, basically directly on pace for what you want here. Admiral, definitely one of the more difficult courses we have in the area, but a beautiful course nonetheless, and they're able to bring you some coverage. And again, shout out to all the folks who helped make this possible, and the production team who are out there working hard. And oh, look, there's our names. Check that out. That's cool. Yeah. Appreciate that. Much love.
And, I will say this front 9 is the one that we need to score on, so this back 9 is going to be a little bit tougher. So looking forward to watching to see if Gibney and Matt can continue their hot start on this back 9.